good evening. I have just one question compared to the quality of water you have there and in India. You mentioned about sensors.
Mhm.
Does our quality of water will have any effect on the functioning of the sensors used?
So yes, actually at some point, if you have a lot of sediment inside the water, our sensor may be blocked. So you need, or most of the time we install small grid that filter those big sediments prior to go inside the sensor, because
No, I mean the hardness.
hardness, yeah.
Yeah.
The hardness is a problem most of the time when the calcium is stagnating. So as we are installed under the faucet or in a place where water is flowing, we have not really faced a problem related to hardness, even though in Switzerland we have, in some part of the country, we have very high hardness inside water, but we are not really suffering from that with our sensors.
Okay. Regarding Legionella,
Yeah.
for hot water you mentioned that is well taken. But I had some publications from Harvard. Some of the cold water lines, cast iron construction in USA, the Legionella were detected in 12-year-old pipeline.
Yes.
Where the water was not moving frequently.
You are totally right. It's not only hot water, it's also cold water. And also most of the time, the hot pipe and the cold pipe are too close. And if it's not insulated properly, then the transfer of energy between hot and cold make the growth of Legionella inside the cold pipe. So you're right, it's not only hot, you have to actually monitor hot and cold. And it's what we do. We have iLink and 2 sensors that are installed in hot and cold in order to measure separately the stagnation of the water at point of use. You're right.
In our country, the hot water supply and thereby carbon dioxide emission saving or difference that you have shown,
yeah.
ours is mainly a cold water supply.
Yeah.
So the carbon dioxide emission for hot water application is not rather that important for our use.
Okay, it's interesting. I have a question about that, because in Switzerland or in many big buildings with multi-tenant or high-rise buildings in the US, for example, they have a centralized hot water production boiler, for example. Does it apply for India as well, or do you have small heaters at point of use?
Even in our winter, hot water use is mainly hardly 1 to 2 months in a year.
Okay.
Otherwise, okay, we are 35 to 45 degrees centigrade ambient.
Yeah. Yeah.
So hot water application is as it is.
But then I can tell you that we have another application for cooling systems, because I'm sure you use a lot of cooling, and cooling systems use a lot of water. And here we have been able to demonstrate that for cold rooms, for example, that have a compressor that use water for cooling, we can repurpose the energy from that water in order to use it for other type of purpose via a heat exchanger, for example. So you're right, heating the water is more a concern for countries where they have a weather that is very continental, or they have very cold temperature inside buildings, or for water. But the cooling is also a big footprint in terms of water, and data centers, cooling in commercial malls, in cold rooms, for example. use mainly water, unfortunately, and we are not really repurposing that water for other for reuse applications.
Thanks a lot. Thank you.
You're welcome.